This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm Chase Sr. Welcome into the show, and I hope everybody watching is having a great day. Coming up, Eagles fans get some worrisome news on Saquon Barkley going into 2025. And speaking of that, I want to tee up today's poll question because I want to see where people are at here. Do you believe in the Madden Curse? I want you to type yes or no down in the comment section because obviously that is the topic of today's program here. Over the weekend and into this week, there's been a lot of buzz that Eagles running back Saquon Barkley could be on the cover of Madden 26. Not sure if that is going to be the cover here to my right. If it is, I think it's a very clean cover. And there are a lot of pluses if this comes to fruition and if this buzz is real. The hurdle photo would be sick. It's icy clean. One of the iconic plays in Eagles franchise history and one of the iconic plays of the 2024 season, which resulted in the Eagles winning Super Bowl 59. Also, can you imagine being that defender? Mom, I'm on the Madden cover for Madden 26, but I'm not the featured athlete. I'm the person who Saquon Barkley hurdled over of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And for players who get on the Madden cover, it's a lifelong dream. I mean, how many of us grew up playing the game Madden and we're playing in the backyard, we're playing football at recess, we're playing football middle school, high school, college, whatever, and we're hoping that someday we can grace the cover of the legendary video game. And can you imagine if you're Saquon Barkley having that cover framed at the crib? That's a pretty cool flex right there. And Saquon Barkley as an athlete is very marketable. He's a great player, one of the most talented running backs that we've seen in the history of the NFL. And if he can string together a couple of more healthy and productive seasons, he could be on his way to Canton to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's also cool for Eagles fans to see one of the faces of the franchise on the cover of the Madden video game because all football fans play Madden. The negatives of Saquon Barkley being on the Madden cover: it is the Madden Curse, which is something that over history has been a thing. And with Saquon Barkley, led the NFL in touches in 2024, led the NFL in rushing yards, ran for more than 2,000 yards in the regular season, set a franchise record for rushing yards in a season, and he did that with weeks to spare in the regular season. And then regular season and playoffs combined, and he reached this mark in the Super Bowl. He took down Terrell Davis's record for the most rushing yards in a single season, regular season, and playoffs combined. But Saquon Barkley, number one, has an injury history. Number two, he's going to be 29 in February, so he's got some tread on the tires. He's becoming older at a position where players can be washed and cooked overnight. Number three, what did the Eagles do earlier this offseason? They gave him a historic contract, the richest in the history of the National Football League for a running back. And then furthermore, over the last few years, running backs who have won the rushing title the following year, after winning that title and winning that crown, they have had really bad seasons, whether it be a lack of production with the production dipping or they've run into injury problems. This really started recently, and obviously you go back over the course of NFL history, and you can find these examples as well. But in recent memory, this has certainly taken place. Derrick Henry won the rushing title in 2020, and obviously led the NFL in rushing yards with more than 2,000, had 378 carries that led the NFL, 17 touchdowns, number one in the NFL as well, 126.7 rushing yards per game, leading all rushers in the league, 5.4 yards per carry. The year after winning the rushing crown, 219 carries, 937 yards, 10 touchdowns, 117 rushing yards per game, 4.3 yards per carry, and his games were cut in half year over year, from 16 in 2020 to just 8 in 2021. That's when he had that foot injury with Tennessee. Jonathan Taylor won the rushing championship in 2021. What a season. 332 carries, 1,800 plus yards, 18 touchdowns, 106.5 rushing yards per game, 5.5 yards per carry. By the way, the asterisk there and the star that signifies leading the NFL in those categories. But then in 2022, Jonathan Taylor 192 totes, 861 yards, 4 touchdowns. Rushing yards per game all the way down to 78.3. Yards per carry decreasing as well to 4.5. In 2021, 17 games. In 2022, only 11. Josh Jacobs finished number 1 in rushing in 2022. Good year then for the Las Vegas Raiders. 340 carries, more than 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 97.2 rushing yards per game, 4.9 yards per carry. In 2023, carries go down, yards go down, touchdowns cut in half, rushing yards per game way down, yards per carry down by nearly 1.5, games played decreasing by 4 from 17 to 13. And then the most recent example, Christian McCaffrey in 2023 and in 2024. In 2023, more than 2,000 all-purpose yards. NFL Offensive Player of the Year, top 5 in MVP voting, 272 carries, almost 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, 91.2 rushing yards per game, 5.4 yards per carry, and obviously a threat to catch the ball out of the backfield and out of the slot. In 2024, he only played in 4 games. He had bilateral Achilles tendonitis that caused him to miss the first 8 games, and then he ended up injuring his knee when it looked as though he was starting to round into form. And as you can see there, the 2024 production, not even close. He did not even register a touchdown last season. And so for Saquon Barkley a year ago, it was him and Derrick Henry jockeying back and forth like 2 thoroughbreds for the rushing title and for rushing yards per game. It was really them two neck and neck throughout the course of the 2024 season, but Saquon Barkley ends up rushing for more than 2,000 yards. The workload a lot, 345 carries, 13 touchdowns on the ground, and he was explosive. Multiple touchdown runs and overall runs of 60, 70-plus yards. History does show that there has been a pattern of Madden Curses. There have been 15 Madden Curses that we're going to count and 11 non-curses. So let's run through it here. Barry Sanders was the first athlete who was on the cover of Madden, because prior to that, it was John Madden himself who was on the video game cover. Barry Sanders, cursed. He was named the first non-Madden cover athlete, and then he retired right after that. Eddie George, Madden 2001, not cursed. Career high in rushing attempts and yards the season after he was named the Madden cover athlete. Dante Culpepper, cursed. Missed 5 games. He had 16 fumbles. The Vikings went 4-7, and he threw 14 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. Marshall Faulk, Madden 03, cursed. He had 5 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons, and then the ensuing year after he was on the cover here, 10 starts and no more 1,000-yard rushing seasons. He was cooked overnight. Michael Vick, Madden 04, cursed. Played 5 games because of a fractured fibula. Ray Lewis, not cursed from an individual standpoint. The Baltimore Ravens did miss the playoffs, but Lewis, putting together the Hall of Fame career that he had in that season, 147 tackles. As we know, Donovan McNabb, Madden 06, cursed. After the Eagles made it to Super Bowl 39 and fell short against the New England Patriots, against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, before obviously the Eagles got their revenge in 2017, Donovan McNabb only played a few games. He missed 8 of them, and the Eagles went 6-10, and Donovan McNabb and Philadelphia, they were dealing with the Terrell Owens saga as T.O. that year. Only played 7 games, and then he went to the Dallas Cowboys after that. Sean Alexander, cursed. 5 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons, and then this year broke his foot, 10 games, career completely fried after that. Vince Young, after winning Offensive Rookie of the Year after he led Texas to the national championship, cursed. The season after he was on the cover of Madden, 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, and he was benched by Jeff Fisher. Brett Favre, Madden 09, cursed. He retired, unretired, got traded to the Jets, and then he threw 22 interceptions and was dealing with a shoulder injury. How about a split cover here? Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald. It was indeed a split, not just because of the cover. Polamalu, he was cursed. 5 games due to an MCL injury. He had under 25 tackles on the year. Larry Fitzgerald, more than 1,000 receiving yards and a career high, 13 touchdowns. Drew Brees, cursed. He threw a franchise record 22 interceptions. And while the Saints did have a winning record that year, they made it to the playoffs and they lost to the 7-9 Seahawks as Marshawn Lynch ran crazy. Peyton Hillis, how about this? Cursed. He won the fan vote for Madden 2012. Then he played 11 games and only averaged 3.6 yards per carry. Calvin Johnson, not cursed, set the NFL single-season receiving yards record that year. And then there was Adrian Peterson. This was the alternate cover, kind of cursed, just because his numbers went down precipitously the season prior, which led to him being on the cover of Madden. He ran for more than 2,000 yards. He won the NFL MVP as a running back. Last time that has happened, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley coming close, but not quite to Adrian Peterson's level. ADAP all day. Always confuses people. He went from 2,000 rushing yards to 1,200. So the production went down. You can make the argument he was cursed. Richard Sherman, not cursed. Madden 2015. The Seahawks that year made it back to the Super Bowl, and then Richard Sherman, one of the top corners in the game that generation, made the next 3 Pro Bowls. Odell Beckham, not cursed. The ensuing season, career highs in receiving yards and touchdowns. Rob Gronkowski, Madden 2017, cursed. Only played in 6 games because of a herniated disc in his back. Tom Brady, not cursed. This year he ended up winning NFL MVP, but he did lose to the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 52. Go Birds! Antonio Brown, cursed in a way. Career high 15 touchdowns. Then his Steelers career went down the drain. He got traded to the Raiders, and this is really when CT ESPN started. Shortly thereafter, he was on that Madden cover for Madden 19. Patrick Mahomes, Madden 20, not cursed. He led the Chiefs that year to the first Super Bowl win for Kansas City in 50 years. And this started a little bit of a run here of no curses. Lamar Jackson, not cursed. He rushed for more than 1,000 yards. The Ravens that year avenged a playoff defeat the year prior, beat the Titans in the NFL playoffs. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, a special cover here for Madden 22. That was the MVP edition, not cursed. They didn't return to the Super Bowl, Mahomes and Tom Brady, but they both were very productive that following year. Josh Allen, not cursed for Madden 24. The Bills started 6-6, then they won 5 straight, won the AFC East, and, of course, on brand for Buffalo, lost to the Chiefs in the AFC playoffs. But then that streak of non-curses ended last year with Christian McCaffrey. One offensive player the season prior, then played 4 games, did not score a touchdown in the 2024 campaign. So, as we know, as we just found out, as we just informed you, there have been more curses than non-curses. So Christian McCaffrey, hopefully that trend of curses doesn't continue. And if Saquon Barkley is indeed on the cover, hopefully he does not get cursed. So, we could play a role in this. Prayer circle for Saquon, that he stays healthy for the Birds for 2025 and beyond. EAGLES, Eagles, and let's go Saquon.